where he was going to do an experiment. He was going to get people together. And then my mom also shared that same dream. They were going to raise kids.
Atz Lee Kilcher has faced dangers that would have ended most lives long ago. Brutal Alaskan winters, relentless physical labor, and even a fall that should have killed him outright. For decades, grit and endurance carried him through everything the wilderness threw his way. But last week, doctors delivered news that strength alone could not fix. What they discovered inside his body shocked his family and sent fear through everyone who believed Atz Lee was unbreakable. The appointment was meant to be routine. After years of recovery from his devastating fall, Atz Lee had slowly returned to work on the homestead. His doctors had been cautiously optimistic, ordering scans and blood tests as a precaution. No one expected trouble. That is why the phone call 3 days later hit like a punch to the chest. The results showed serious abnormalities. More tests were needed immediately. Specialists were brought in. The calm but tense tone of the doctor's voice said everything before a diagnosis was ever spoken. Something was deeply wrong. The days that followed blurred into hospital halls and exam rooms. What began as simple monitoring became a full medical investigation. Doctors uncovered years of hidden damage, chronic conditions made worse by a lifetime of extreme labor and untreated injuries. Atz Lee, a man who once walked away from pain that hospitalized others, was facing an enemy willpower could not defeat. Jane, his wife and lifelong partner in homestead work, sat beside him through every appointment. She watched the man who feared nothing struggle to absorb news that could redefine their future. The doctor spoke carefully, outlining treatments and lifestyle changes, warning that outcomes ranged from manageable to life-altering. No one could offer certainty, only risk. The family chose to keep details private at first. They needed time to understand what this meant before the public added pressure. But secrecy was impossible. Cameras documented their lives. Fans noticed absences. Rumors spread quickly. When the family finally spoke, their statement was brief, confirming serious health concerns and asking for privacy. The message was clear. Atz Lee Kilcher, the symbol of Alaskan toughness, was in real danger. To understand why this crisis is so severe, you have to understand how Atz Lee lived. He was born into the frontier lifestyle, shaped by hardship from childhood. His days were filled with hauling water, chopping wood, hunting, and surviving in sub-zero temperatures. By adulthood, his body had endured more punishment than most people experience in a lifetime. Injuries piled up, rarely given time to heal. Pain became normal. Then came the fall in 2016. A 40-foot plunge onto rock shattered his body. Broken bones, collapsed lung, internal injuries. Doctors were stunned he survived. Recovery was long and incomplete. He never regained full function, but he refused to accept limits. Against medical advice, he returned to brutal labor too soon, re-injuring himself and accelerating damage already done. The diagnosis revealed the cost. Severe spinal degeneration threatened permanent nerve damage. Heart tests showed early cardiomyopathy. Lung damage limited oxygen intake. Advanced arthritis ravaged his joints. Nutritional deficiencies weakened his body further. Each condition fed the next, creating a cycle of decline that had gone unnoticed until it could no longer be ignored. Doctors told him the truth he never wanted to hear. He had to stop heavy labor or risk losing his life. The family gathered to face that reality together. Silence filled the room. The homestead depended on him, but his body no longer could. For the first time, toughness meant stepping back, not pushing forward. Surgery came first. Hours on the operating table. Months of recovery. Pain, frustration, and an identity crisis no medicine could heal. But slowly, something changed. Atz Lee began redefining his role. Teaching instead of hauling. Planning instead of climbing. Leading without destroying himself. His story is still unfolding. There is no miracle recovery, only adaptation. But there is hope. Hope that survival does not require self-destruction, and that strength can mean knowing when to stop. If this story moved you, stay connected. Subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin, press the bell icon, and join us for more powerful stories from behind the legends.